If you're just joining us, welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Good morning, everybody. It looks like we have only 38 participants on the line today, so feel free to reach out to your team and get them on here. We don't want any IMAs left behind. Our goal is to have over 100 participants. It looks like Rhonda is going to Sacramento. That's awesome. I'm going to be going to Scottsdale, obviously, and I'd really like to go to a California one as well. Now, our trainer today, it's time for me to bring out our trainer. This is someone that I've actually yet to meet, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to get to meet Daine Clark. Daine Clark had a couple of jobs before he found Renatus. He was actually working for Apple in the back, and he was somewhat shy, so he wasn't one of the gentlemen or ladies that would that would come out and greet you. He was in the back doing a lot of the work, and so he was not really much of a person to be very outgoing, kind of shy. And he was also a roofer, and he was a roofer only because Can everybody hear me okay now? Feel free to come off mute and let me know. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I think where I was cut off was that he plugged into the Renatus system after he found Renatus. He listened to his mentors. He applied the velocity banking to pay down debt. He used leverage as a down payment for a duplex. And I love the strategy. He lived on one side and rented out the other. And that really, if not, covers all of your mortgage payment, if not some of it. So that's a great strategy. Fast forward to today, he's raised over $6 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions. And what was his secret? Consistency and frequency. He has grown his team. He's now a PIT team member. If you're not sure what that is, it's a President's Advisory Council member in training, which is huge. He's recognized by Bob Snyder, our CEO, as a key leader, and we're so very fortunate to have him as our trainer. I'd like to bring out Daine Clark. Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Let me get you the controls.
Okay, wonderful. Good morning, everybody. While she's doing that, if you guys have already, it looks like some people already have, but if you already know what I like to do, I love to see how many people did you guys have at meetings in the last 7 days. So between Wednesday last week and between today, how many people did you have in a meeting? My wife and I have actually been traveling all week. We left right after our training a week ago today, actually. So I have actually only had one, so I'm going to post that. Only had one person in a meeting while we've been traveling. So good job, Joanne. You had 3. So keep on posting them in, guys. Now for myself, for those of you who might be new and don't know what I'm asking, I personally, in my business, I track how many people was I able to get to a meeting, and how many people was I able to get to a meeting that I was planning on asking for the close. Now, if you guys have seen kind of the sales process, typically with Renatus, Bob Snyder didn't like the idea of just having everybody show up to a meeting and then have a huge cattle call. Everybody signs up in the back and, give us your credit card. So typically for myself, I don't even ask for the sale or the order, if you will, in that very first meeting. Now don't get me wrong. Occasionally I have put some people's order in because they were ready, things like that. But for the most part, I have somebody come to a first exposure, just like a presentation, whether that's like a webinar online or whether that's coming down, like, in my neighborhood, we do it on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. and they come to the meeting, and then I schedule either come to the follow-up or come see a house tour, come meet with me, one-on-one type of a thing. So let's see. I've been traveling all month. One guest. Good job. Cool. Everybody else, post how many people did you have in a meeting between today and a week ago today. I actually track this number where I could show you how many I've had for the entire year, every single week. I keep track of that for myself because I've noticed that as I'm tracking things and reporting my numbers, and yes, I just keep it in an Excel sheet. I actually do it with a group of other people because I've noticed that if I track and report, I'm more likely to bust it. To bust it out and say, you know what, I'm reporting to somebody. They're watching me. They're tracking me as well, and I'm reporting to them. And not necessarily that I report to them, but I'm just reporting my accountability to other people. So take an opportunity, even if I have zero, I still report, just so I can see the correlation to my income and my income, as well as how many people I'm meeting with in a given week. So cool. Today I've actually got something real special today. Let's see, I think it was January. They asked me to do a training on how I set my goals for the year. And I kind of responded, well, pretty much I every day is New Year's for me. I don't really care to set like a bunch of really specific goals around the turn of the year. Whenever I want something, I'll sit down and I'll set a goal. And I want to share with you guys how I do that. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. And hopefully I have good internet. We're out in the middle of, I actually don't know where I am. I'm somewhere in Oregon. Excuse me. So hopefully my internet stands up okay. And all right, screen shared. So let's bump over to the handy dandy OneNote. And today is August 29th, mastermind. Whoops. All right. So how do I set my goals? Now, and I want, if you guys are okay with this, if you have time, and I notice we have a handful of people that are on the phone and are not able to see, but if you can, would love to, Sandra, yes, I count all my one-on-ones. In fact, I usually prefer counting the one-on-ones over just how many people came to a first exposure, because that's the number of the people that I'm asking for the sale. Because not every single person shows up on a Thursday night and then comes back. So I don't even track that. So all right, anyway, how do I set my goals? Now, this has been really, really fun for me to learn over the last several years, because when I was new, I mean, it was crazy. And in fact, it's so funny that Bob Snyder was talking about that financial thermostat, if you will. And like, I had never seen money like I've been making lately in my life. And in fact, I had never even set a goal as high as the amount of money that I've been making, you know, so far this year, even in my life. Like, I had never even fathomed. So I actually kind of want to speak to that, to what Bob Snyder was talking about. So for myself, when I first when I had first started setting some goals, it was funny, that number, I just wanted to make like $50,000 a year. I had never made that before in my life. I think the most I had ever made in a year was somewhere in the 30s. And in fact, I think it was that year. I think I made like 32 grand or something like that the year before I joined Renatus. But anyway, so over the years, I've learned to you know, kind of keep this accountability, if you will, or write things down in my life. So when I set a goal, I actually do it just like this. So I have a wall at home, and it would probably take me a few minutes to pull this up. I have a picture of it somewhere, but on my wall, I have purchased. If I jump over, let's see how well my internet's going to let me. On my wall, I just went to Amazon. I searched picture collage, and I bought this. $15, $16 on Amazon. And a couple of things though. Notice, if you can see this, notice that it has these little clippy things. What do they call those? Clothespins, where I can stick pictures on it. And I can easily put stuff on, I can easily take stuff off, just because I had learned a little thing about the subconscious mind. So your brain actually works for you in the subconscious, or works for you in your, while you're not physically or purposely thinking about something. If you put something in your subconscious mind that is not like your active thoughts, then your brain actually will go to work for you in reaching some goals. So I used to do this long time ago when I first learned this concept. So when I create a vision board, if you will, or whatever you want to call this, a goal board or a vision wall, I don't care what you call it. Just do what I've been doing. And really I just followed somebody else. But anyway, so I tell my subconscious mind that when I put something on my wall, I'm going to get it. And I subconsciously tell myself that by using something like this, where I don't like print it out, you know, where if I received it, I'm going to have to change it really soon and print out a whole brand new one. Like, no, I just stick something on the wall. In fact, before I had this, because I was so cheap, I didn't even want to afford $15. I would just tape it to the wall with a sticky note, actually. I would use a sticky note and just put sticky like halfway off the picture and halfway on the picture, and stick it to the wall so that I could have it on the wall. And literally that's all I did, because that was so cheap, so easy to do. And anyway, so the idea, put it on the wall using, you know, those little clippy things and a picture. I would go to Google. In fact, here's even the app. I'm not sure if I even have the app. Let's see, free prints. I don't. So let me show you the app that I use right here. So free prints. It's on the Android store, or whatever they call that, the toy store, the Play Store. It's on the Android Play Store, and it's on the iPhone App Store. Free prints. Literally, by downloading this app, you get 10 free prints just for giving them your email. They're not going to market they're not going to sell your email or anything like that. Just because you sign up for the account, you get 10 literally free prints delivered to your door. And again, when I was creating this, I was so dirt cheap because I hadn't really made any money yet. I did all the things that didn't cost me money to do this. So if you want to use this, you know, nowadays I do this out of convenience. It cost me $2 to send myself 10 free prints, because I'm too lazy to go down to Walmart and push print, you know, take my time, because my time is more valuable than just going down to Walmart. I'll just put this in there and they'll send me 10 free prints right to my door for $2. But anyway, that's the app that I use to get these prints, and I'll do 9 at a time. So 9 things on the wall at a time. That's it. Okay. And it's crazy because of this system, I've actually been receiving or getting my goals faster than I can come up with ideas on things that I want. So I put 9 things up on the wall like this, using those clothespins, if you will. Now let's zoom in. Let me show you the wording. Okay. So if I zoom in on one of these pictures, let me mute everybody here. All right. So if I zoom in on one of these pictures, here's how I do it. So I'll take the picture that I just printed off, and maybe, in fact, here, let's talk about one of the things that I want. So once upon a time, I really, really, really wanted my dream car, for example. And it's kind of funny because the way that developed, I never even fathomed that I would be going for a dream car someday. In fact, I had put that so far away in my dreams or vision or whatever, that when this first was, introduced to me, the idea of getting a dream car, I never even put one. I was just like, oh yeah, I just want a nice car. Like I used to drive my little, what was that thing? A Hyundai. It was cheap. It was got great gas mileage, and dude, I love that thing. And it wasn't until some of my leaders and people that I look up to as mentors were like, Daine, dude, you've actually been making like more money. Like why do you drive that? Why do you make over $100,000 a year? 6 figures. In fact, I think I might have, I don't think I did multiple 6 figures that year yet. But anyway, they're like, why don't you go for something that you really want? Like, you've been driving this Hyundai making over $100,000 a year. And they're almost kind of making fun of me. But anyway, so I was like, oh my gosh, like I had never even thought, like, what's my dream car? What do I want? So I thought about doing a couple of things. I approached my wife about it, and she said a big no to getting the Porsche. So instead, I was like, you know what? How about I get a family vehicle that could still go 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds? So on there, I went and Googled a picture of the F-150 Raptor. And so I threw that on the wall and said, all right, let's go get this. How about let's go get an F-150 Raptor? Now, for those of you who have no idea what that is, basically the Ford Raptor is the only factory production truck that has ever completed what's called the Baja 1000 race. It's a 1,000-mile off-road, like beat your vehicle to crap race. Is the only factory production truck to ever finish the Baja 1000. And not only finish, it actually took first place as just a factory production stock truck. It won first place in the Baja 1000. And it's such a comfortable vehicle that the racer that drove this truck and won, took first place, he actually just put his seatbelt on and he drove home all the way from somewhere in the middle of Mexico. He drove home to like Detroit, Michigan. So very, very unique and high performance off-road vehicle. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, let's get the Ford F-150 Raptor because I can put car seats in the back and we could travel over. But anyway, here's what I do. So I found a picture on Google and printed it out, F-150 Raptor, and I free prints, send it to my house, and so they send me this picture of this Raptor. And a couple of things that I do. I envisioned myself in the very moment that I know that I received my goal. Okay, so anyway, step 1, vision. You have to envision yourself in that very moment. So if you have the time to follow along with me right now, literally, if you can think of one thing that you want in life, doesn't matter what it is. If you want to have something, if you want to go do something and experience something with somebody, or if you want to become somebody or something, whatever that is, envision yourself in the very moment that you're like, oh my gosh, and it hits you. I got it. I got this thing. Because that's going to be the turning point that you'll notice. All the events between now and you receiving that thing are going to lead to that moment of you getting that thing. Okay, so step 1, vision. Envision yourself in the very moment that you're like, oh my gosh, I get to take this off the vision board. I'm going to take this thing off and file it in my proof that this thing works. Okay, so anyway, vision. Okay, step 2. Here's what I do. On the sticky note, because this is a sticky note right here. So on my sticky note, usually sticky notes are some random color. Let's make it red. Okay, so this is a sticky note. On here, I actually write down And here's exactly how I do it. Envisioning that moment of what it looks like when I know I get my my raptor. I sat down. I said, all right, what are the emotions that I'm feeling when I'm picking that up? Like, what do I see? You know, I see myself at the dealership. I'm talking to the salesman, and I'm walking up, and I'm like, hey, Mr. Salesman, I'd love to take a look at this Raptor. I'm looking to buy one. Can I test drive it? And so I'm envisioning myself like in this moment of what this looks like, and I'm test driving this Raptor, and I'm asking him, get me a price out the door of what this thing goes for. And Raptors, I mean, I had to find this out, but Raptors actually never go for sticker price. They go for like $10,000 above whatever the sticker price is. Like, there's no discounts. I had to find that the hard way. I was a little angry, but I was like, you know what? I wanted it. So anyway, so I'm envisioning myself saying, like, what's the price? How much out the door? I want to buy this. And so I in my sticky note, I write to myself that moment. And it was funny because the thing that came to my mind to write down in that moment, while I'm literally like signing my name and saying, yeah, let's take it, was gratitude. And so on every single sticky note, or on every single goal that makes it onto my wall, on my sticky note, I write down a sense of gratitude in that moment, or gratitude for that moment. So I wrote to myself on the Raptor, I am so grateful. So grateful. I picked up my Raptor. Today. And you could get so specific with this if you want. I knew that the Raptor, I mean, I bought the only one in the state of Utah at the time, so I didn't really have a chance to pick, color and, the options, things like that, because they were just such a hot commodity at the time. But so I didn't go as crazy as like, yeah, I want this color, I want that, whatever. But you could get so detailed. Let's say you want to, one of the things I had on my vision board was, I am so grateful that I took my entire family, my mom, dad, I've got two brothers, one sister, so there's 4 kids, and between all the kids, there's 5 grandchildren, between my kids and my brother and sister kids. I told myself, something as detailed as, I'm so grateful that I took my whole family, mom, dad, brothers, sister, and their kids, to Disneyland on my dime, where I pay for it. So I write things down like, I'm so grateful that we're buying the ticket to go to Disneyland for 15 people, 10 adults, 5 kids. And I get to take my whole family. I pay for food, I pay for travel, I pay for lodging, the tickets to Disney. Like, literally, I wrote on my vision board, I'm so grateful that I get to take my whole family on my dime. Yeah, so you can get as specific as you want. If you do have the dream vehicle, whatever, like, pick the color, pick the, all those different things. Okay. So, and sorry if anybody has comments or anything, I probably better be checking this. Pixels, just order gosh. Good job, Leslie. Printing out now. Good job. Can you please share the app name again? It's called Free Prints. Giovanni, Free Prints. It's and it's got that turquoise. What do you call that? Turquoise butterfly. So if I just go like this, Free Prints. It's on Google. It's on the iPhone. So it looks like that. So it's a turquoise and it's got a butterfly on it. Free Prints. So all right, back to this. All right. So on my sticky note, I'm so grateful, and I'm envisioning the moment that I know I got it. I nailed it down. Okay. One of the things I've had on there before is I'm so grateful that I became an inspiring presenter. And that becomes an interesting one on how do you check that off? How do you check it off that you can say, yeah, I'm an inspiring presenter? And so I envisioned myself and realized, okay, how do I know when I can take this off? How do I know when I can check and say I've become an inspiring presenter? And some of that became like, okay, I'm so grateful that I'm getting people coming up to me and saying, Daine, thank you so much for sharing what you shared today. Like this really helped me. So in other words, it became feedback. I am so grateful that whatever I'm sharing with people, they're coming up to me afterwards and saying, thank you so much. Or a couple of things that I've had, like some people have sent me like letters before saying, you know, and a little, I had one lady send me a letter and a little like silver, it was like real silver medallion that basically just said, gave me her story and said, I actually joined Renatus because of you. When you presented that night and shared your story, you know, whatever, I made the decision right in that meeting and said, I'm doing this. And here's what I've done since. Thank you so much for your words of just encouragement. And anyway, so you can get creative with this. But again, the three categories are going to be something that you want to be, something that you want to do or experience, or something that you want to have. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, so that attitude of gratitude for the moment. I'm grateful that this is happening right now, or that this just happened. Okay, and notice that it even says past tense, because in my mind I've already picked this raptor up. You know, in this example, in my mind I've already bought the tickets for Disneyland for my family, 15 people, to take them all on my dime. Right? Past tense. Grateful. Well, past tense. Okay. Next, after writing out that story, on the bottom of your sticky note, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a sticky note, I guess, but just, again, something that's so easy to put it on there and take it right back off, because you're telling your subconscious mind, I'm going to get this. This is mine, right? I already own this. I already am this. Okay. Next, on the bottom, if it's going to take any amount of money to reach this goal, then put a dollar amount on the left side. Okay. And there's two ways to do the dollar amount. One, let's say you're going to buy this and you're going to use leverage. So a Raptor, for example, if you buy a Raptor outright, if you buy a Raptor and use financing, or let's say you're buying a house or whatever, but you're going to use some kind of leverage to buy that, then you're going to put a monthly payment. So dollars per month. Okay. If you're going to buy it outright and just pay cash for it, so, whatever it's car, house, again, anyway, whatever it takes, if it's going to be just a dollar amount that you're going to hand over cash, all of it at one lump sum, then just put that dollar amount. Okay, so either dollars per month or the dollars, whatever it takes. Okay, so money is going to be on one side, and then on the other side, you're going to put a date. Now, this is not the date that most people think. Most people think when you set a goal or a vision of what you want, that you put this out there and say, all right, I want to buy a Raptor on September 5th, 2019. Well, what happens if you don't get it on September 5th in 2019, or whatever date you put on there? Like that can become a recipe for a negative emotion. It's like, oh man, your subconscious can be like, see, I told you you couldn't do this, because you didn't reach your goal at that specific time. Now I'm all about setting, timed goals and working backwards and saying, all right, if I want this, then I'm going to have to do this, 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 and this by this date. I'm all about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't do that. But here's one thing that I found is going to help your brain just understand that you can receive this a lot sooner than you might think. Okay, and the goal of what I'm about to show you is actually to speed it up to what you think that you are capable of. Okay, to speed it up. So the date that you put is actually today. The date that you slapped it on the wall, today's date. So if I were putting this up on the wall, I'd put, I'm so grateful that I picked up my Raptor today. And I put the dollar amount of how much that's going to cost, or monthly, either way. And I'm going to put August 28th, 2019 of today's date, basically, okay? So I put today's date. So step 4, dollar amount, either monthly or dollar amount total. And
Hey,
then put today's date. Yo.
Hey, was wondering, why are we putting today's date as opposed to the date that we feel or we would want it to be accomplished?
So essentially, I don't want your subconscious mind to ever come back and say, I told you so. Because again, we all have doubts. We all have these moments of that's not even possible. Like I never even fathomed, just using this example, I never even fathomed owning a Ford Raptor. I remember when they first came out, the new, those new ones that just came out, they were all, updated, whatever. I remember, oh, that's so cool. I'm never going to own one. Because again, my subconscious mind has already told me, like, hey, you can't do that. You've never done something like that before. You've never bought a vehicle that expensive. So in fighting this battle between what has been real in your world already and bringing your world to a higher sense of either accomplishment or becoming somebody, whatever it is, owning something, your subconscious mind typically tends to be like, hey, this is safe. This is what's real. This is what you have done before in the past. And so to stretch that, oftentimes your subconscious mind will be like, that's not real. Like, you've never done that before. You've never felt what it's like to own this, dream something, whatever it is, or to experience taking and taking people on this kind of experience. Your brain naturally tends, because the subconscious mind is a protector. It protects us from the negative emotions, right? So it keeps us, I hate to say this, but it kind of holds us back. The subconscious mind does. So I do that for a couple of reasons. One, so that I can never have my subconscious mind come back and say, I told you so, if I don't receive a goal on a certain date that I put out there. Because sometimes things, are within our control, sometimes they're not. So it's hard to foretell the exact future. Anyway, so I think I beat that to death. The second thing, or second reason why I like doing it this way, is I actually start telling my subconscious mind, because again, I'm using past tense. I'm so grateful that I already got this in my mind, and I put today's date. Then in reality, I'm almost tricking my subconscious mind to be like, no, dude, I already got this, man. This is mine. I already am a inspiring presenter. I already am an owner of a Ford Raptor, or I already am, whatever it is that you guys want to do, be, or have. Yeah. So I hope that answers that question. The second thing. In tricking the subconscious mind by doing this, you'll actually cause the subconscious mind. I'm going to give you one piece of nugget here that most people will fail to do that will cause your goal to reach, basically for you to reach your goal a lot faster. But most people, when they do it this way, I hate to call it the universe, but essentially, you will align yourself with the universe, and the universe will align itself with you. Whatever you want to call that, I don't care. But you will start lining yourself up to receive, this goal faster than you think is humanly possible. Now, and what I mean by that is kind of like when I first opened up the call today. I never even dreamed that I would have what I have today in my life. I never even dreamed this was possible. I never even dreamed that I would be somebody that speaks in front of thousands of people a year. And never even envisioned that, not even fathomed. I never even dreamed that I'd be doing the things that I do with my time now, or making the amount of money that I make per hour now. So in other words, the second reason why I like to put today's date on there is because I like to just bring that so much closer to my today's reality. Because if I put it out in the future, I tell myself I'm not that yet. But if I put it today, I start acting as if I already have it. It's mine. Quick example. I put the London trip to go to London with Bob Snyder on my vision board. And it was so funny because originally I heard about the contest and I was like, oh yeah, my natural subconscious mind stuff. Oh yeah, you've never won anything before. There's no way you're going to that. That's going to be so much fun for all of those people who get to go to that. And it was funny because I come home and I tell my wife, I was like, oh yeah, guess what Bob Snyder's doing? He's taking a bunch of people. He's going to take 10 people and a +1 to London. That's so cool. And she turns to me, she's like, you're doing that. you're taking me to London. And so I was like, all right. And so I do the work that I'm talking about right now. I go to Free Prints. I print off a picture of London. In fact, my wife even did it for me. But anyway, I print off a picture of a couple of London pictures, and I envision myself what does it look like to receive the London trip? And I envision that it's probably going to be on stage at Nationals. Okay, so I envision myself, and Bob Snyder's calling my name and saying, Daine Clark, get up here, because you've won the trip to participate in going to London with everybody. And so I tell myself, I am so grateful that Bob called my name to go to London with him and the other gang, the rest of the gang. And so in other words, I take what I never thought possible and make it real today. And that makes a big difference in when you set those goals, especially when you set goals that you never thought possible. Okay, I want you guys to do that. Now, don't go crazy and be like, I want to be a billionaire tomorrow. Whatever. But hey, if you want to be a billionaire someday, then put it on there. And again, mark off the thing that where you're just you're looking at your bank accounts, or you're looking at your balance statement or balance sheet, And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a billionaire. You know, imagine that moment, okay? Whatever it is. So that's why I put today's date. Now, I'm going to talk about two things, because you probably are thinking, you might be thinking, like, well, how do you know, set the time goals? Okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, okay? Now, when you're envisioning yourself of what it tastes like, what it feels like, what you're smelling, you know, what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what are the emotions going on, who's there, who's seeing you, right? When you're envisioning yourself in getting that thing, I want you to do two things, okay? First, this is first person, okay? Let's see, is somebody off mute because they want to make a comment, or do I need to mute everybody? Mute. All right. So first, you do this in first person, okay? Now, I want you to envision third person, okay? This is like an ancient technique that most people don't know about. Because of how the subconscious mind works, this is the gold right here in creating your subconscious mind, or creating work from your subconscious mind to say, ooh, I've tasted this, but I realize that I don't have it, okay? Because first, we set all the goals as like, yeah, I got it, I did this, you know, feeling all the emotions and imagining what it would be like and who's watching and what does it smell like, you know, whatever. Now you take that and it's almost like you're watching a movie, right? You see yourself where you're floating up at you know, you're a fly on the wall now, and you're watching yourself receive that thing. Okay, this is important. Envision yourself in third person receiving that thing, doing that thing, having that thing, whatever it is, becoming that person. Okay, this is what's going to set the subconscious mind on fire of, now we got to work. Okay, and then you go back and do all those time tested, you know, what they call it, SMART goals, measurable, you know, those kinds of things. So you know, because if you've measured it here, then you say, all right, if I want a Ford Raptor, you know, typically if you're gonna you know, go monthly, if you're gonna, you know, like 85 grand out the door to go buy a Ford Raptor. If you want to finance that, it's like, I don't know, $1,600 bucks, something like that, a month. So you say, all right, now I'm going to break this down into, you know, bite-sized pieces. If I know that I need this much money per month or this much money total, then this is how many of these things I'm going to have to do. Or, so again, back to that goal of how many people I meet with every single week. I know what to do with how many people I meet with every single week. I can say, all right, if I want to make this much extra money this month, or over the course of until I get my goal, you know, until I make 85 grand, or until I can make an extra $1,600 a month payment, whatever, then I know I'm going to have to do this thing this many times on average. Okay, and everybody's going to be different. You know, closing ratios and, you know, deals, you know, whatever it is. And it's not just going to be, I'm going to have to close, you know, 5 flips. Like, no, you're going to have to go and make 50 offers on properties or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to have to do this thing this many times. Okay, and don't do something big like a flip, because a flip takes like 40 hours of your time, especially if it's your first flip. I mean, it's going to be 40 hours of your time over the course of that deal. If you're working on it, plan on over 100. Okay, but if it's your very first deal, I mean, budget like 40 hours. Okay, so I don't want you to put something that takes you 40 hours and say, I'm gonna have to do a 40-hour, flip. I mean, obviously there's people that spend a lot less time. If you're new, then let's budget 40 hours. Okay. But no, do the thing that's going to cost you like an hour of your time. 1 to 2 hours. 1 to 2 hours of your time that you can be like, all right, I did it. Like, in my case, a one-on-one. Or a follow-up. Or having somebody at a house tour. Okay? Track the things that are only going to take you like 1 to 2 hours of your time. Maybe even less, 30 minutes even. Yeah. And say, all right, I need to do that this many times in order to receive my goal. Okay. So step 7 essentially is the breakdown. Breakdown. Okay. So break down that goal. I need to do this activity this many times, and I'm going to receive, I'm going to make 85 grand. I'm going to make, $15,000, right? And again, guys, when you really understand this and how this system works, if you will, with the vision and putting things on there, I mean, it's crazy. Like sometimes I'm almost like nervous to put something up on my wall because I'm like, I'm going to run out of things. I'm going to run out of things that I want to, because they happen. It's crazy. They happen when you really like get good at this. You're going to be taking things off quickly. In fact, it's funny. I made the comment to my wife the other day. It's like, I'm almost nervous to put things on my wall because I can't think of things to replace it with. If I put something on there, then I'm going to be like, oh man, I'm going to have to think of something else soon. Like an interesting problem to have. But believe me, when you get this, it's going to start working for you. Okay, I've never seen anybody not do this in its entirety and it not work for them. I've seen people try to do it and half, I'm not gonna say some choice words on here, but half effort. I've seen people half effort this and it not work for them. And that's a given, right? But people that actually go after and do this, where they envision themselves, they print it out, get it on the wall of whatever it is they want to be, and they tell themselves, I'm already grateful. Here's what it's going to take money-wise. Here's today's date. And then envision themselves in the third person and then break it down and say, all right, I need to do this activity that's going to take me, each time it'll take me about an hour of my time to do that. And I can track that. I'm going to have to do that this many times. And then you go do it. And believe me, I mean, you'll start getting stuff. Like, it's crazy what's going to happen. And even quick story. So if you remember, one of my goals way back when I was new and I didn't really understand this was to take my family on an all expenses paid trip on my dime. And it was funny because I put that on a long time ago, and it was on there so long that I actually took it off once upon a time. I put it in the drawer for whatever reason. And it was crazy because I was, going through some stuff and looking at, and I pulled out that picture and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. And I was able to, I called my wife and I was like, honey, remember this? Remember that we wanted to do this? And it just happened to be that month, this was actually like 2 months ago, I think. That month, I had made an extra couple of sales. We had closed on a couple of real estate deals and closed a couple extra combos. And I was like, honey, let's do this. Like today, like get me a price. Like call Disneyland. Say, honey. And I said, honey, call Disneyland. Ask him how much does it cost to bring 15 people to, to come through and And it was crazy. So she got really excited. She's the travel bug in our family. So she got really excited. Like that minute, she sat down, she's pulling all these prices, and she's like, done. Here's how much it's going to cost, Daine. I was like, all right, do it. Call them up, pay for it. Here's my credit card. And so even things that you put on there that you forget about, they'll resurface. So be careful what you put on here, because things are going to happen, whether you forget about it, it happens, you know, a year or two later. I actually have had multiple things that I put on there, and I eventually took it off because of whatever reason. Like one of them was because we moved. And I put all this stuff in the box, and then when I put my vision board back up, I didn't pull that one back out. And I looked at it, and I was like, and I pulled it out one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually got this. I forgot I put this on my vision board. This came to be without me even focusing on it in my vision board. You know, it took an extra year, but again, this works. So we're at the top of the hour, though. Let me make sure I have a couple of comments. Okay, let's see. No excuses, powerful, love this. Went to library. Good job, Chuck. Let's see. Okay, cool. So I'm all caught up. I just created my vision board 2 days ago, but I didn't really know what I was doing. This is a great breakdown. Cool. Good job, Gentry. Do it, brother. Thank you, Lily. Appreciate you as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on the call. I will talk to all of you next week. Have a great Wednesday, and get your stuff done. Count how many people, again, those activities, how many times do you need to bring somebody to a meeting or make an offer on properties, okay? How long did it take for let's see, Jonathan, how long did it take for the first goal on the vision board? I can't even remember. But I can tell you those very first ones that I did, I mean, it was within just a few months that I received some of those goals. Well, I think one of the very first ones was they were doing some kind of competition. I wanted to make like 30 grand. It took me like 3 months. So, all right, guys.
Daine.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. What's up, Cody? You got a quick question before we end?
It's not a question. It's more of just a thank you. I actually seen this training a few months back, and it's been very impactful for me and powerful. It's definitely one of my favorite trainings that I've ever had. I just wanted to say thanks.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. I hope it's working for you. If not, get to work.
It is. Very worth it. Thank you.
All right, guys. Love you all. See you next week. Thanks, brother.